Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Sunday morning with us, Dr. Peter Michalos. And, well, live long and prosper is his nickname. And we need a lot of sunshine in our life, and we need a lot of vitamin D in our life. Well, Dr. Peter Michalos, tell us, how do we live longer?
Well, today, John, we're going to talk about medications and supplements based on real research and data that may help us live longer and have longevity. And a lot of times we talk about longevity and some of the things that hurt us. So the conversation has to start up with something called free radicals. And we always talk about free radicals and antioxidants, but try to simplify it and understand it first. That's really what speeds up our aging. And free radicals are these molecules in our body that become uneven. And what happens is they lose electrons, and then they become very reactive, and they attack our lipids and our proteins and even our DNA. They sort of become like rogue, sort of almost like a criminal that goes around and hurts other cells. And what antioxidants do is, think of the free radicals as having a bunch of sharp knives, and the antioxidants go around putting on these Kevlar gloves and covering those knives so they can't injure the other cells, because they donate these electrons or these caps onto these sharp edges of these free radicals, so you have less problems. And the things that cause free radicals and inflammation are pollution, radiation, too much sunlight, poor diet, smoking, alcohol, high stress, and that's how we end up getting things like hypertension and cancer and heart disease and Alzheimer's disease. So, what can we do to fight these free radicals? And some of them are called antioxidants. And, of course, on top of the list, we hear a lot about vitamin C, and vitamin C is one of the antioxidants that seems to help calm down this process. And another one in the anti-aging world, and it was just published just a few weeks ago, was pretty fascinating, that vitamin D, we talk about the sun, we talk about how it helps depression, immunity, but they had higher vitamin D levels. It seems to protect the telomeres, which are the end caps on our DNA, and the longer your telomeres are, the longer you live. So vitamin D turns out to be a great anti-aging drug.
And what I found out, Peter, what I found out is that no matter how many vitamins you take of vitamin D with the K2, you still need a little bit of sunshine.
Yeah, no, nothing like a little bit of sunshine goes a long way, and just try not to do it between noon and 3 p.m. because that sun is the strongest, and it's associated with more skin cancer, more basal cell squamous cell melanoma. But vitamin D is important, and the people who don't have a lot of sunlight and vitamin D, those areas have more depression. The other one's called resveratrol, found in red grapes, and it has something called polyphenols in red grapes, and that activates the longevity genes called the sirtuins, and those help our longevity gene and reduce inflammation. And the other thing that activates the sirtuins are oleic acid and olive oil, also found in avocado. And the other one is called NAD, which is a molecule that decreases as we age. And what that does is it boosts our DNA repair and our metabolic, it makes us more metabolically healthy, and that helps longevity as well. The other one that comes...
Now, on the longevity issue, I understand, I'm just repeating what me and you have talked about in the past, and is the fact that that in addition to longevity, the intermittent fasting.
Yeah, absolutely. Intermittent fasting helps with the cleanup of dead and dying cells. After about 14 to 16 hours, our body tends to clean things up. And people who fast, and in religions and cultures where they have fast, it helps make your labs better. And the way we follow all these things is doing our labs and our biomarkers, and we measure the effects. So fasting does help. Another one on the list is called spermidine from flax seeds. And flax seeds, it turns on this cellular cleanup process called autophagy, and that also helps. We also know that fish oil has omega-3 acids and also plant-based omega-3 fatty acids. They also are anti-aging and help us heal in our skin. Coenzyme Q10 also helps boost our cellular energy. In addition, we have things called peptides and hormones that help. And a recent study just in 2024 in Nature did a big study of metformin in monkeys, and they found that those monkeys had slower brain aging, better cognitive function, and it also helped them live longer. So there's always, controversy, but it's an old, inexpensive drug. And a few weeks ago, they also published that people who were on metformin had less long-haul COVID. And during COVID, they found something very interesting because they thought diabetics would be hospitalized more, for example, in the ICU and stuff. But those who were on metformin had less admissions to the intensive care unit. So that's also a big deal. So all these fascinating things that you can do to help to be healthier and stronger.
Understood. Now, we had the discussion on intermittent fasting, and originally we spoke that minimum is 14 hours, and anything above 14 hours, the killer cells come out to kill anything bad in your body. Is there any update on that?
Yeah, well, the cleanup between 14 to 16 hours, that's when it starts happening. That's why the intermittent fast I do is I only eat between noon and 8 o'clock. Outside those hours, you can eat, all the water and the black coffee you want. You don't want your sugar level to go up. When your body sees that it doesn't have any sugar or nutrients coming in, an alarm goes off. Get ready. Times are hard. There's no food out there. Start cleaning up. Start healing. Start repairing. And also, we run on what's called ketones instead of sugar. And some of the animals, for example, a fox, when they're hungry, they're running on ketones. They're super sharp. And sometimes after you eat too much, you just feel like going to sleep, and you can't even concentrate, and you get what's called alkaline tide. That's why a tiger or a lion eats a big piece of meat. What happens is all the acid in your stomach starts pumping into your stomach, so it makes your blood more alkaline, and that sends a signal to your brain: rest, relax, rest, and digest. And that's why after a big meal, we just want to take it easy and lie down, because all our blood flow goes to our stomach to focus on digestion. So between intermittent fasting, the vitamins we mentioned, and there's also one that's controversial called rapamycin, which is a immune suppressant used in transplant patients, but they also found that it may have some anti-aging properties as well. And initially, some people thought that people who are on immune suppressants, for example, after kidney transplant, would have a bigger problem with COVID and stuff, but they found that because it reduces inflammation, people didn't get as much of an inflammatory response, and some of those people did better, and it actually protected them from extreme inflammation in conditions like COVID. So that's another fascinating area that we're going to be hearing a lot more in the future, and a lot of new different medicines and ideas, and of course gene therapy to alter our genes. There's a company out there called BioViva that has done it with telomere lengthening, and we'll see if those people live longer. And there's about 200 humans who've already done that outside the United States. So we're going to see a lot of amazing things in anti-aging, and we'll keep you up to date listening to the CATS Roundtable.
Thank you so much, Dr. Peter Michalos. Live long and prosper, and thank you for everything you do to have our listeners live longer, and God bless you and God bless America.
Thank you, John and Margaret, for always allowing us to get the microphone to get the truth out.
Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now, is right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.